It's Monday night here on iRacing Live, Racesport TV bringing you the best skip barber racing action here in the week. Rachel Whiteford and Jake Sperry here. We're at Homestead Miami Speedway. No, we're not going NASCAR racing. It's the UK NASCAR Barber Racing School Series in support of Shelter. We're here for a fast, a furious race. It will be 16 laps around this track, and we have a monumental number of drivers here tonight, Jake. We're looking already at 37 drivers on track.
Yes, we are. It'll be a really exciting race today. Of course, last time out it was Simon Hulbert who took the win. At the moment, he is running around in 6th position, the number 64 car. So it'll be interesting to see if he is on track or if he is on a lap. And no, he isn't. But right now, on pole at the moment, currently, is your number 45 car of Simon Povey.
It is indeed. Povey is looking to come back from the disappointment last week. He lost out narrowly towards the end of that one, and he has a lot to prove here, Jake. But it's going to be an exciting one for him. Antonides in P4 now. Behind him, Tom Ward, Simon Hulbert, Adrian Bidwell, Clark Williams, Stuart Adcock, John Keaveney up there in second, and Gavin Marsden. So, going to be an action-packed front of your grid tonight. You know what, Jake? You remind me of the Babe.
What Babe?
The Babe with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Voodoo?
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of the Babe.
Ah.
I'm sorry. I had to put that one in for a moment. Just, of course, today, terrible news. David Bowie has left us. He's gone up to the stars where he truly belonged. And, well, let's hope this will be a race in his honour. Labyrinth, probably my favourite film that he was ever involved in. Awesome fantasy. But anyway, I digress. We're back to the racing here at Homestead. It's going to be amazing tonight. Very tough track, Jake. Really difficult corners here. Some good combinations. We were talking beforehand about the hairpin and the transition to the banking of the oval track here. Very aggressive. It's going to catch a few drivers out.
Yes, it is. There is a really big opportunity that you lose all sorts of momentum going through that final corner. Right now, I'm looking at the number 98 car. That is Clark Williams. He's recently just gone up from 8th to 6th at the moment. He is trying to push for a lap here as he heads now to turn number 8. The hairpin here down at the end of this very long straight into the left-hander now. He will come into the left. He goes now very slow, hitting down underneath 40 miles an hour before hitting on the straight and now heading onto the back straight here, Rachel. And nope, pulls off for his end of his lap.
He does indeed. Well, that'll be the abort of his lap. He will not get a chance to do another one. We have just over 40 seconds remaining now. We're going to do a provisional run-through of your qualifying positions here today. Of course, some drivers still are out on a lap, and we'll find out, of course, the front few are not. So, provisional pole at the moment, Simon Povey with a 1 minute 35.148. John Keaveney in second provisionally with Gavin Marsden behind him. Starting on the second row outside for Hugh Antonides, Tom Ward behind them, Clark Williams, Simon Hulbert, Adrian Bidwell, Stuart Adcock in 9th, and Carl Galilee in P number 10. The rest of those positions up on your screen now. Of course, subject to last moment change, although not anymore. That's a checkered flag. We're going to be heading over to the grid, Jake.
Yes, we are. It's going to be an interesting run down into turn 1, of course. You head off of the oval very, very quickly and into turn number 2, another left-handers. You don't actually hit a right until the very slow turn number 4. So this will be a real challenge and it'll be an advantage to anyone on the left-hand side of the grid.
Very much so, if they can hold it there. Of course, turn 2, very tight here. On this initial lap, Jake, not going to really be showing as much because the speed is so much lower. But, well, on a flying lap 2 onwards, turn 2 is going to be incredibly big braking zone.
Yes, it is. Of course, you really do have to worry about cars going in down through your inside. Right now, you can see the cars gridding up right now. At your front will be Simon Povey on grid from John Keaveney, who has done very well in the 2K World Cup recently. So this will be a real challenge for Simon Povey. He's going to try and see if he can prove it to the big boys today, Rachel.
He will, certainly. And we're just waiting for those last few cars to take to the grid here, including your pole sitter Simon Povey, who has not yet wheeled that car out onto the grid. The number 45 machine still waiting to take his qualifying spot. But big grid so far. It seems like everybody has taken to field, including Mark Mercer. No qualifying time from him. He's back in 37th.
Yes, a real surprise because he is such a quick driver, of course. He won at Laguna Seca, if I'm correct, which was a really, really wonderful race to watch right now. As you can see, lights coming on. Rachel, take us through the start.
It is indeed. Lights coming on the gantry for iRacing here as we get ready. Those engines will start to rev up. Not very big ones, but they will indeed. Finding that crescendo rising across your grid here. We get ready for 16 laps of fast racing here. Green flag is out. Slow start there for Povey. Good run on the outside for Keaveney. Not a huge run, but it might give him the edge into the braking zone through into turn number 2. No, he'll slot in line with your leader. Everyone single filing out here for this big, sharp corner as we enter the infield section of the racetrack. Behind them is bunching up. 2 wide deep in your pack there. Looking further back. 3 wide into the corner at the rear. That was actually packed there for those guys, including Reece Saunders and Patterson.
Yes, it was. There is a car off somewhere along the lap and just managed to get back on, I believe. I don't quite know who it is right now, but you have to say it was a poor start for whoever that was. But up at the front, it seems that there's been no change.
That was a 932 of Keith Sharp there, who got off the track as he was 3 wide on the straight there with Reece Saunders and a few of the other drivers around him. Behind them, Fraser Williamson bringing up the rear of that small pack. Looking back towards the front, though, Povey still leading. In fact, himself and Keaveney, a big gap over third place Gavin Marsden, who is leading the second pack here. Behind him, Tom Ward has moved up a spot. Antonides has slipped back one. He'll be fighting back from this. We'll have to see what he can do later on. There's a new paint scheme there for Antonides. Lots of pandas. That's a new one. But Tom Ward is doing a good job now. He's moved up to P number 4 on the racetrack. Povey, though, himself and Keaveney, Jake, they are really pulling away here.
Yes, they've managed to break away very early on. That's what they need to do with 16 laps. But to point back, Gavin Marsden there had a bit of a scare when Tom Ward tried to make it 3 wide down the back straight. He got squeezed out. Nothing doing there, though. But right now, here's the run down into turn numbers 1 and 2. Marsden is going to be under threat here from the number 09 car of Tom Ward. No, nothing doing there, Rachel.
No, Ward being patient early on. He wants to help Marsden get back up towards Keaveney and Povey so they can start to fight for the lead here rather than squabbling away and letting your leaders get away from them. It's 2 seconds really back to Marsden, so they've got a lot of work to make up already after only 2 laps. Further back there, you've got Hulbert, you've got Bidewell running back down in P12. He qualified 8th, so he's slipped back a lot, Jake.
Yes, he has. A poor start there. Not really any massive movers and shakers down the field right now. I'm looking at this battle going on with Graham Forrest in the 185 car. He's managed to just pull away right now from the car behind him, which was Patrick Fairbanks in the 109. And I think he's in a little bit of clean space at the moment. We'll be looking to chase down the 83 of Chris Malcolm.
Oh, looking back towards the 073 car, down in P25, making a move there on Paul Thurston. That's Fraser Williamson, one of Racebot TV's own. Yes, he is getting preferential airtime, deal with it. But good run up the inside there. The turn 8 hairpin does chop the nose off Thurston a bit though, Jake.
Yes, he does there. Very interesting manoeuvre as I'm cutting back now to leaders Povey and Keaveney, 45 and 10 right now. Heading through the final section, heading up this massive banking back onto the oval here, around Miami's Homestead even. And right now it seems that Simon Povey is doing what he needs to do, keeping that 4/4 gap right now and just making sure that he's got it covered into turn number 2.
Yeah, here comes Ward behind them on Marsden. Will he make a move into 2? We're going to see. No, he'll stay in line still, but big check up there from Marsden. Marsden's certainly holding up the front pack a little bit here, Jake. They do seem to be dropping off very rapidly, whereas Povey and Keaveney making a good clean run from it. Marsden really holding up this train.
Yes, he was 4/10 slower that time round as they hit the start-finish line, which is not what he wants to be doing. It looks like he'll have to be thinking now, without any pit stops really in this race, he will have to surely be thinking about a podium instead of looking for a race win. Out in front, it is, of course, Simon Povey ahead of John Keaveney.
Very much so. Povey having a good run so far. He's led from the drop of the green flag today. Keaveney not tried to make a move yet, but those two drivers content to make the gap bigger and bigger. Tom Ward and Antonides are going to have to make a move here on Marsden if they want any chance of battling for this race win. Not many laps here tonight. We're on lap 3 of 16 already. How time flies when you're having fun, but Marsden is really the bottleneck in this train, Jake. He is, as you said, 4/10 off the pace of your leaders. which is causing a group of cars behind him just to stack up there. They have nowhere to go. Concertinaing somewhat. It's just really slowing things down.
Yes, it is, because now it's a gaggle, a train of 6 as they come out of the final corner. Not really many overtaking spots here on this circuit, only 2 main ones. One down into turn 2, one down through the series of left-handers there, as we can see. Now, Tom Ward moving, trying to go to the outside. No, he's not quite close enough this time. He'll be looking to try and have another go in the next lap, but I don't think he's quite got it sorted yet.
Not yet. Hopefully we'll try and get a look on board right now with Tom Ward, and we'll watch the rest of this lap from his perspective. We're coming there through turn number 3 and 4 here, the S part, before we start the real infield section of the track here, heading up towards, what is turn number 4 or 5, I think it is, towards the end here. Big U-turn around this infield section, which houses camper vans during the NASCAR racing. Of course, not Skip Barber race cars, but coming through there behind Marsden. You see the draft effectual grab here on the straight, running down towards turn number 8 at the end of the straight here. Big draft for Tom Ward. Can he use it to get inside Marsden? No, he backs off early again. The leaders ahead of him just disappearing into the sunset, Jake.
Yes, they are. Right now I'm looking at a move here down with the battery man. That's number 3, AAA, Adam A. Atherton. He's got Simon Maltby side by side, and through he goes, and there was a block pass ahead of them as well, and that was Graham Forrest involved there in the number 185 car. They're very interesting, loses 2 positions to A. Mark O'Connell and B. Tim Adcock. Right now Adcock's going to be under threat into the next corner here from Mark O'Connell. This is going to be a really interesting move here around the outside. No, not close enough yet.
No, very brave move there from O'Connell, perhaps just showing his desire to pass, but I've got to say, Jake, love the battery man name. That's a brilliant one. I'll have to use that one in future, but Tim Adcock there defending very, very carefully. Oh, contact behind him, big contact as we leave the final corner there onto the oval section. We'll get you a replay of that one. That did involve Simon Maltby and Mark O'Connell. So the 94 and the 16 cars there having a moment as we transition onto the banking replay up for you. Bit of a slowdown check up there by O'Connell. Maltby nowhere to go, just catches the back end of his car, Jake, turns him around.
Yes, a real shame with what happened there. Just going through the final corner a little bit slower, and then bang, there's the contact, and that is a shame for him. Mark O'Connell is in pit road, crabbing along, but don't forget, back up at the front, your leader right now is still Simon Povey in the number 45 car, and he is doing himself a treat.
He is, and well, we're still watching the growing excitement with Ward and Marsden back in P3 and 4. Ward really hasn't found a way past Marsden yet, and that time is bleeding away. 2.8 seconds to your leaders now. A very significant margin that is just growing and growing and robbing Tom Ward of any chance to run for this fight. We know he is capable of getting up there, but not see much of him yet. Well, your last place starter on the grid was Mark Mercer in the 33 car, the Club 100 machine. We're very used to seeing at the front of your field. Well, started 37th, he's up to P22 right now, although just having passed, I believe that was the car of Graham Forrest, he has now moved up to P21. But Mercer there, doing a great job of moving through the field, perhaps misqualifying for some reason, we'll never know, but, well, it's always a great thing to see one of those really fast drivers, Jake, just slicing through traffic.
Yes, it is, and right now back on the battle with Marsden and Ward. Ward was all over the back of that gearbox of Marsden. Skip Barber couldn't do anything about it. Again, it just seems that he just tries to get close and he just doesn't quite have enough. So they head through 3 and now into turn 4. Another slow right-hander taking it just 52 miles an hour, speeding up now, heading down through 5 and now 6. Will he have an opportunity here? Well, I don't quite think so, Rachel.
No, not one of those corners that really aids overtaking here. We do only really have 2 spots, Jake, that are really suitable for passing. The final corner there and the inside of 2. It's just a very tricky racetrack here. Fast-flowing corners and really no opportunity to get that big run you need on somebody. The straight here running down towards turn number 8. It's long, but just not long enough for that draft to really be effective. So these guys having to just deal with what they've got. Although the checkup getting very significant there as we have contact behind your battling P3 and P4, Ward and Marsden. That was Stuart Adcock grabbing the bumper of Clark Williams there. So you have to watch out if he doesn't want to have any more incidents on track with that one. The banking off the final corner has already been eating people's front wings, Jake.
Yes, it has. Another incident that's gone on is Gary Toole has run into the back of Ryan Walker. That was a battle down for the lower half of the top 10. Nothing could have been done there about that. But back at the front, though, it is Simon Povey, still ahead of John Keaveney right now. The gap staying the same, around 3/10. It's just a shame that no real gap can really be manifested here. But these two are trying to pull away, and this will be a battle for the win if Keaveney can start to make a challenge.
Well, we're going to have to see something from Ward soon, because 6 minutes off that lap for Marsden. Big loss of time there. They're now 3.5 seconds back. This is looking like a 2-horse race. Keaveney probably cannot believe his luck here. Only himself and the race did to fight it out for top step of the podium. Just brilliant opportunity, of course. Nobody else able to get near them. Marsden and Ward and Tenides, but all very fast drivers, just so far back here.
No, not. And look, Marsden now will be under threat again here from Tom Ward now. And he's got a better chance that he's had, really, than he's had before. Because he's going to move to the inside now as he heads towards turn number 8. Brakes early, brakes a lot later. And he makes the move stick very comfortably there on Gavin Marsden. It looks like he relinquished that one very, very comfortably, Rachel.
Very much so. Ward grabbing grass on the exit of the corner there, but somebody needed to do. He has passed Gavin Marsden. We will see if he can gap him and if he can make a move now. Try and catch your leaders. Povey and Keaveney will definitely have noticed the change of position there, and they'll be looking in their rearview mirrors, of course. Tom Ward already starting to move a gap here in this last part of the lap.
Yes, he is. See, he's trying to really get away right now, try and break away the number 09 car of Tom Ward. He's already managed to break away a gap larger than what he's had before. It's about half a second right now, and he's looking to try and push it further and further and further.
Very much so. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, he has made half a second there as he crossed the line, but gap to eat up. 3 seconds to your leaders. 2/10 between Povey and Keaveney it was at the line. They're dropping a major factor there, but further back, your group is starting to make passes now on Marsden. Antonides making a look for the inside there of Gavin Marsden in turn 2 and 3. Couldn't quite get it done though. Behind them, Hulbert and Williams also trying to get through.
Yes, they are. Of course, Gavin Marsden has one of the widest cars in the league at the moment. It seems nobody can find a way past, but what is having to be said is that Stuart Adcock is falling off the back of this group. He's trying to stay on the back of Clark Williams, but I don't think he's managing to do that at the moment.
Not at all. Stuart Adcock just having a little bit of trouble. Of course, great race last time out at Road Atlanta. Just a different track here at Homestead, Miami. Very different to the fast-flowing course we had at Road Atlanta, but still looking like he's in the top 10, which is a good place to be in this series with such incredibly tight competition. There's a big mistake by Clark Williams there on the exit of 8. Gonna try and get you replay that one. It was only a quick incident, but Clark Williams with some epic car control there, Jake, as coming through 8, bit sideways in the corner, collects it, runs wide a little bit, and sideways on the grass. We saw that last week, I'm sure we did.
Yes, we did, and also another car that's managed to go off is Adrian Bidewell right now. He is going to be a sitting duck down this back straight, because through will go the group of, I believe, James Steele and co, which includes Keith Sharp, who is going to be, they are going to be side by side as they head down in. Oh, almost contact there between the two wheels. Very lucky to keep that one sorted, and that will open the door up even more for the likes of Adam Atherton. But right now it's Mark Mercer who is going to try and push his way up the field even further here, Rachel.
Well, hopefully we'll see that, but these guys being very frisky on the racetrack and trying to hold on to those cars. But another one we're keeping an eye on there is Mercer up to P17, up 20 spots already. He's running there behind Keith Sharp and James Steele, breaking towards your points finishing positions there, so not a bad gain for Mark Mercer. Up towards the front, the gap is back up to 3.2 seconds between Ward and Marsden. Seems that Keaveney and Povey, Jake, have just found that magic something. Tom Ward, he's no faster than Marsden was. Just nothing in it.
No, of course, once you start to lose the slipstream, it just seems that you'll never ever seem to try and get to recover it. Ward was looking like he was starting to pull away. Now he looks like he's going to fall back into the clutches of Marsden as the battle for the podium ensues. You can see him pulling closer in the slipstream, moves to the in-hand side right now as they head into the left-hander here, and he makes the move stick very, very comfortable. Tom Ward might try and go for a cut back. No, he's not got enough room to do that. And I think it will be Gavin Marsden who will take third place at the end of lap 9.
Certainly will. And inside hand or left hand side, inside? Nice combination of words. But no, Tom Ward looking like he's going to make a comeback on Marsden here as we run towards turn number 1 and 2. Seems that Marsden and Ward have accepted they're not going to win this race, and they are battling for that final step of the podium. Marsden, though, just able to hold on there, running towards turn number 2 and the infield section here over Ward. So really only 2 opportunities left. 1, maybe 2 if we're pushing it, but he has a few spots left on the track, Jake. Risky though otherwise?
Yes, you'd say otherwise it would be a real risk on any overtake. I'm looking now back at the 109 car. That is Patrick Fairbanks right now. He's got Chris Malcolm in the 83 right behind him now as they head down towards turn 6 and 7. Not close enough now, but surely there needs to be a little bit more coverage of the other guys because there are still some great battling down the field.
There really is some great battles going on as we had Antonides past the 64 there of Hulbert, so Antonides moved back up into that spot. Looking a bit further down your field, Reece Saunders in the 37, he's in a bit of dead air at the moment, was battling hard early on, but he is up 5 spots on your track right now, moving up to P23 on the track. Up further ahead, you called it earlier, Battery Man Adam A. Atherton. That number 3 car is up to P18 from P23, which is where we found Saunders. In the midst of a good battle here. Behind him, Simon Maltby ahead, James Steele. Mercer just ahead of those guys on the track. So quite the action-packed group at the moment as we see Mercer making a move there on Keith Sharp for P15. This will see Mark Mercer in the points from last on the grid. He will have a points finishing position if he holds it here, Jake.
Yes, and he's made that look very, very comfortable there into the left-hander. Of course, one of the 2 main overtaking places, as we've said earlier, as he heads up the bank right now, he will be in a points-paying position, and he's just showing what he can do, especially after such a poor qualifying like that. And something has happened to Clark Williams in the number 98 car because he is dropping down my timing screen. So let's see if we can get a replay of what happened, Rachel.
We will try and find out. If you can point us out, we'll take you to the replay.
Yep, quick
news though before we actually find that. Simon Hulbert and Fahim Antonides have also made contact on the track. Those 2 are battling side by side at the moment.
Oh yes they are. Well, what happened with Clark Williams, it seems that there was a disconnect on his part, so that is not really his fault, but what a shame for him. He was running up, looking towards the podium positions, and I'm sorry I didn't catch what you said there, Rachel, so if you'd like to take them through it, that would be marvellous.
Completely forgotten what we were covering. That's sort of embarrassing, but I was busy watching Antonides there and Hulbert battling, although Antonides has certainly taken advantage of that situation. Hulbert now under attack by Stuart Adcock from the rear, so Adcock looking to make it up into the top 6 if he can get up towards Simon Hulbert. Those 2 drivers are somewhat no, it's Simon Povey and Simon Hulbert who are teammates, and we saw them battling last week at Road Atlanta, but we have Steele on the racetrack. That's James Steele, number 5 car, side by side there with Atherton as they are racing for those final points positions. Mercer has moved up into P14, so Sharp is dropping back now into the clutches of Steele, Atherton and Maltby.
Yeah, Sharp really struggling right now. Of course, he qualified 20 seconds on the grid, got up to 16. There's contact there. As you can see, 2 cars there. Now they're going to be 4, 5 wide there. You can see cars there. Atherton getting boxed in right now. And that was a really, really odd instant. Let's go back and take a replay of that because that was really interesting, Rachel.
Very much so. I'm going to get a replay for you now and we'll show what exactly happened there. We'll pick it back to 2 corners or so before this one kicked off, and we'll keep an eye on it from, well, Tim Adcock's point of view. Actually, he starts this off. They're going to have that replay up for you now, and you'll see Tim Adcock getting sideways in one of the corners. Holds the car fairly straight, but he causes a blockage on the side. Runs a bit towards the side here. Steele has to take avoiding action. Steele goes wide. Steele collects Mercer. Mercer, well, collects himself. We end up bottlenecking up. It was like running to turn 1 at Pocono for IndyCar as we go 5 wide in Skip Barbers on the run down the front straight. That is not something you see every day.
No, it's not, and what you have there is the battling still going on, and that's allowed Tim Adcock to break away. Adam A. Atherton now under threat from the car next to him, which is Keith Sharp, into the left-hander. Right now, just behind them, it's Mick Watson now trying to make a move here on Mark Mercer, who is falling back down the field and has lost his points-paying position, and now he'll have to do that work all over again with just 4 laps left.
He will, and Mercer probably has suspension damage from the contact we saw there with James Steele, so that car's not going to be the healthiest. These guys scrapping like a dogfight here as Mercer looks to the inside. Going to try and squeeze a position there on Watson. He holds it well. Very good positioning there, but not going to be enough. Cannot get through. Looking definitely more like an injured car for Mark Mercer. Just unable to quite have the advantage we saw earlier on from him. Cutting through this traffic here. He is more like an equal on terms with these guys. That car not behaving well. Wobbling on the straights. Definitely problems for Mark Mercer.
Yes, you do have to say that. And there is a crash down the field. That is the 707 car. That is Carl Galilee, I believe, who is dropped all the way back down the field. There you can see missing an entire nose cone. Must have been a heavy shunt for him. And I believe that is him out of the race, Rachel.
It was. Turn number 2. Galilee just drops the back end onto the grass. Round he goes into the inside tyre barriers. One more nose cone. Very cold feet. Galilee out of the race. Up towards the front of your field though, Simon Povey and John Keaveney, they are well separated by the same gap they have been the entire race. About 2 to 3 tenths of a second between those two leaders, as the 45 and the 10 seem to be running away with this one. They have 4 seconds over Gavin Marsden in P3, and it is still Gavin Marsden in P3. Tom Ward hasn't been able to find a way back past him, and will have to settle for P4 it seems. Antonides though has dropped off now with Adcock and Hulbert. They are 3 seconds behind P4.
Yes, and there is a huge gaggle again as we cut back to the battle with Keith Sharp, who is going to have to try and play defensive now because he's got Mick Watson trying to make a move down his inside into the left-hander, but he'll have the advantage of having Adam Atherton's slipstream. He manages to make it all sorted here. This is the biggest battle we have at the moment, but another battle here is the battle for the last remaining podium position. Number 7, number 09, Marsden and Tom Ward. Right now they are running nose to tail.
Yeah, this has been the tail of the race so far. It's been Marsden and Ward doing what they can to try and have that last podium spot. Ward wants it desperately. Marsden holding on by the skin of his teeth here. But Marsden, well, we thought he was holding up Ward early on there, Jake, but it does seem as though Marsden is the faster of the two.
Yes, it's a really interesting dynamic going on. It seems that they have not at really that much pace, but enough. And it's just that the slipstream's keeping it together. There you can see Ward trying to poke his nose out to make a way through down the inside. Nope, nothing doing this time. He'll have to wait another lap. There will only be 4 more opportunities to overtake. Well, 5 actually if you include where they are now, because there will be just 2 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line.
2 laps to go and so much can happen. Looking back though, the 932 of Keith Sharp at the battle here we have on track. The final point spots are really up for grabs here. Mercer has worked his way back in the points as we see a move there by, I believe that's Watson on Sharp, as Sharp goes wide, Watson goes through, and through will come Mark Mercer as well. Now a move by one of your series veterans in the 33 car, the Club 100 Blue Machine, as he will move himself to P14 there. Tim Adcock breathing a sigh of relief as he gets away, considering it was him that caused that earlier fracas on the racetrack. But up to P3, Marsden has been passed down into turn number 1. One of the few passing spots we have here on the track, Jake. Tom Ward gets it done just in time.
Yes, he does. He made great work at the slipstream there, down through 1 and 2, and now he's got to try and brake. He's got 2 laps to do it, and he will be pushing that Skip Barber as fast as he possibly dares to get himself a well-deserved podium finish. But back up to the front, though, it is still Keaveney and Povey there, and Keaveney, well, he just doesn't seem like he can get onto the back of Simon Povey right now. Povey has got this setup done to a T so that he can't be overtaken down the front straights.
Oh, yep, indeed. Looking at Mercer, though, he's moved a few more spots up there. He's gotten past, I believe that is Mick Watson as well. So he's in P14 right now. Only cars ahead of him are Adam Atherton and Tim Adcock in that group. Tim Adcock a little far away, though. Adam Atherton is well within striking distance, so we could see a top 12 finish for Mark Mercer here. That car, well, damaged it may be, but he seems to have found the rhythm again. Although I don't think I can see a single car on this racetrack, Jake, that hasn't got a right front wing bent up from that banking.
I don't know, you might have to see if the leader does, because right now they are closer than ever as they start the final lap. Povey might be under threat here from John Keaveney if he can just get the slipstream sorted right now into turn number 1. Final lap has just started here. The white flag is out, and we are hoping to see fireworks here in the final lap of the race. No, nothing doing this time. One more opportunity you'd have to feel for John Keaveney, Rachel.
Yeah, John Keaveney doing everything he can to try and catch Simon Povey. He would love a win in this series. He desperately wants a champagne, that top step of the podium, but it might not be his day there. Povey pushing wide onto the grass. Can he hold on here? 1 lap to go, less than 1 lap now. Can Povey do what he needs to do? Keeveney making a signposted move to the inside, a little early though, perhaps not a passing spot. Might have telegraphed his intentions a little too soon. Povey going defensive, or will be soon, but Simon Povey holding on here, definitely the veteran of the two. He should expect to hold his position. Big defensive line there taken by Povey. Keeveney running to the outside. This could give him an advantage out onto the oval part of the racetrack here, as Simon Povey holds the inside line. No, it will not be enough there for John Keeveney. Can he get the run on the inside? Oh, wobbled by Povey. This could be it. John Keeveney has a nose on the inside. He does have it there. John Keeveney inside Simon Povey as we come now. Vast section of corners here of the last lap of the race. It's John Keeveney has the inside, but a big power move around the outside for Simon Povey. Holds it very wide there. Can he swing it around the outside of this corner? If he can hold it even on the outside, he will have the advantage for the second to last corner. Povey has it back. Povey will hold the line from the final corner. Up onto the banking, no problems for him, but the draft is big. Here comes John Keeveney. He's sticking to the inside. Very unusual positioning there. You would want the draft. It is Simon Povey, your winner here today at Homestead Miami Speedway. John Keeveney second. Tom Ward holds on for P number 3. Gavin Marsden, P number 4. Behind them, Antonidas still coming to the line. Side by side there with Stuart Adcock. And it will be Antonidas finishing off your top 5. Looking back though towards that battle we had going on earlier, is still fighting hard. Adcock, Atherton, Mercer, Sharp, Maltby. A big scrap here, and it has been Mercer past Atherton. Batteryman ran out of charge. Mark Mercer was through, and he will finish high. P number 12 from 37. No, P11. So big moves there from Mark Mercer. Biggest move of your race by about 26 positions, Jake.
Yes, but what's interesting is something has happened on the final lap to the number 64 car. That is Simon Hulbert. I wonder what happened to him, because he has dropped off the face of the earth on the final lap of the race. He was running right up towards the top 10, and it'll be interesting to see what has happened with him, because I am not sure what's gone on, and we'll try and catch that one for you, because that was a really weird one that's happened.
It was. We'll try and get a quick replay of that one actually to find out what happened. Final lap of the race. Hulbert's running down the infield section round the lake. Oh, we appear to have a car fault from him. Simon Hulbert has had a car failure, and that has ended his race. Nobody else involved. No incident in the racetrack. Just somebody kicking their internet connection. So, not what Simon Hulbert wanted after a great race throughout this one. He will be gutted. But we're going to run through your finishing positions now. The cars have finished the race. Those positions up on your screen. Simon Povey will be your race winner here today, with John Keeveney and Tom Ward joining him on the podium. Gavin Marsden, P4, just misses out after running third for the majority of that race. Behind them, Fahim Antonidas, Stuart Adcock, Gary Tall, Patrick Fairbanks, Chris Malcolm and Tim Adcock will round out your top 10. Final points finishers though will be Mark Mercer, Adam Atherton, Keith Sharp, Mick Watson and Simon Maltby. Well, Jake, it's been an exciting race here today at Homestead Miami Speedway. What an action-packed race we've had. Just great. But tell you what, I have not seen a single car, and I went and looked, that didn't have a bent front wing. This track has been brutal on these Skip Barber cars.
Yes, they have. It just proves how hard these guys are working to try and shave every thousandth of a second off of all their laps to try and get themselves closer and closer. Really nice battling today. Hopefully we'll see this next time on Monday Night Skippys. Rachel, I don't know about you.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Back to an actual proper road track, of course, next week. And we'll have the same action, same time next week. And we will, well, we'll see you then. But don't forget to tune in to all the other coverage we have on RaceSpot TV this week. And we will see you then. Good night.